Hey, this is Russell back again with another episode, and yeah, be commentating over basically this. It's a post commentary for those of you who kind of jumped in at the middle and didn't start from the beginning. So I'm not playing this live, and I think that's my first pikeman. Getting into the medieval units now, uh, they're just kind of better in every way. Mostly in defense, I think it is actually the medieval units, and then the medieval infantry units at least, and then I think it's the longbows that are supposed to be like the offensive units for the medieval era. And then in particular, if you have sulfur, the musketman is a fantastic defensive unit in this era. And yeah, it kind of makes it very hard to invade people too during this era, because I think like the musket man, I forget what its defense is, but it's really really powerful if you can get that. It makes war a bit tough in this era. Of course, I'm not going for any kind of particular unit in this era because I'm not really planning on getting to war. It's one of those things where, you know, I'm just happy to give the AI what it wants so it doesn't declare war on me, and just chillax and research away. Try not to get lost behind the AI in this situation, which is very easy to have happen. Um, and I don't really think, at this point at least, going for like the spaceship victory is something I'm even really capable of doing against the AI. It's just pretty hard to get to that point in the game. Civil Disorder and Septum. Just because I haven't really been able to out research the AI in many games yet. At least consistently. And that's the biggest thing. Like I think I've been playing this game. Like a lot of times I can like play like a Civ 3 game, and like on turn one I can be like I'm gonna go for like a Civ 5 game, my bad. At turn 1, I can go like in a Civ 5 game, I'm gonna go for this type of victory, and I can do it. In a Civ 3 game, I'm just like struggling to survive sometimes and get enough cities at the beginning. And then I figure out what victory is the easiest to get, and then I like go straight for that. I haven't gotten to the point where I can like determine what victory I'm going to have. So yeah, it's interesting stuff. Uh, that boat's sailing around a little, and I am changing these guys around. Got a worker making a mine. I do think I should put some Civ 5 up on the channel eventually. I'm not sure when I'm going to do that or implement that, but I think that'd be a nice thing to do. It's a game I'm more well versed in, and it would make me look like a better player in general. Not too much better. Like I'm not like a pro level player or anything like that, but yeah, I think I'd be doing a bit better. So yeah, I'm almost done improving like all the tiles, and I'm pretty sure shortly after that it's just going to be, I'm pretty sure I disband a lot of my workers, not like all of them completely, but yeah, I disband a lot of them. A lot of these great projects are getting done by other people. Not a lot of wonders for me, unfortunately, and that's just the game. Actually, I wasn't planning on like getting that wonder. That's what's annoying. Like Sun Tzu's wonder, I was like, well, there's no way I'm gonna get this, but if I can like have it be built until I finish researching the technology I want to research, then I can switch to the wonder I really want to build. So I wasn't even going for Sun Tzu, but I lost all of that production anyways. So it's kind of annoying. In this game, if you have production in a wonder, and you switch to a different wonder, you keep all of that production and just transfer it over to the other wonder. You don't have like two separate progresses for production for each wonder. So that's kind of what I was trying to do there. I was trying to put shields into that wonder, and then I was going to switch to the other wonder I wanted when I researched the tech for it. But yeah, that wasn't to be, unfortunately. I did not get the wonder I was gunning for. I did not get the tech for the wonder I was gunning for in time. And so that didn't happen. Which kind of sucks, but it's life. Trying to decide what I want for my palace. I haven't made much progress on my palace up to this point. I do think I want to go for something a bit more Romanesque. I don't remember what exactly this palace looks like, so watching it after the fact is kind of cool. It's a pretty important decision. That's why I'm thinking about it a lot. Even though this one's supposed to be like Eastern European, not Eastern European, Eastern like in general, like Far East, Asia area. Even though that one's supposed to be like a more Asian style, I find it to be very Roman just because of the colors, the red and the white-ish looking marble style. So I went with that. And yeah, it's pitiful disorder and symptoms still. I should have done something about that last turn. Probably forgot, or maybe it wasn't going on last turn. Anyways, I do something about it now, and I'm getting more science. I'm seeing if I can push the gold for the science a bit. Not too far, maybe. But yeah, I can do a little more science, right? I guess I want gold. I forget what I wanted gold for. Maybe I just wanted gold for something. Oh no, I was watching like astronomy's going to be done in the same amount of turns with this much gold anyways. That's what it was. Like there's no point in putting all that research to astronomy when I would get it in the same amount of turns. And then I accidentally turned off that because whatchamacallit, I was messing with the slider and made it 100% by accident. Civil disorder still in that city though, unfortunately. And I have a new building to queue. I don't know what I'm doing here. I was getting interrupted a lot. Because I was, well, as I said maybe like in the first episode, I was traveling. I spent a lot of this time like playing this game like in a hotel room before I went to the airport. Then I spent a lot of this time like playing in the airport and stuff like that. And there was always like some kind of interruption going on. I felt bad for a lot of the people that were traveling with me because there's like a million requirements to travel during the whole pandemic and everything, and I had made sure I did everything like beforehand. But I noticed a lot of people were like desperately like on their cell phones like around me filling out those requirements that they should have filled out like like 24 hours before the flight or whatever like that, because they hadn't done it at home and stuff like that. So I had all the papers printed out. I just had to present them and then go on in. I think I got in like terminal like faster than like most people as soon as they opened it up. Like they had a while that they weren't having people like check in yet. And then when they were opened up check-ins, I'd already like done like the pre-check-in, so I just went in that line. And then yeah, after that I was like one of like the first or second people through to like the terminal on my flight, while like everyone else was like just stuck in line or like stuck like before the line trying to fill stuff out that they didn't realize they had to fill out. It was a pretty good feeling. Not gonna lie. I'm actually gonna be traveling again soon. At least in the time that I'm recording my voiceover for this. If I did miss an episode because I was traveling, I don't think I will miss an episode, just because since it is post commentary, I should be able to like record an episode in advance for the whole the traveling, but if I did miss an episode because of the traveling and everything, please excuse maybe an episode not coming out 1 week just because of that. That's actually much more likely to happen in the Total War series that I'm uploading rather than this one, because this one's pretty easy. I've already done all the gameplay and I don't really do any editing. The Total War series I'm kind of putting out at the same time as this, so it takes a lot more it's a lot more editing, a lot more like of a highlights kind of thing, where I play a multiplayer campaign with someone. But I'm sure you guys aren't here to see Total War, you're here to see Civ. I'd be interested to know though if any of you watched any of the Total War stuff I've been putting out alongside this, both the Total War and the Civ. But I don't think so. I think like the people I see commenting on this series are like people who I don't see commenting on that, and vice versa. The people who are commenting on the Total War stuff aren't commenting on this, so which is all good. You know, you're here to watch the content you want to watch. I totally understand that. So yeah, you know, I do the same with YouTubers, where you have the YouTubers you watch like only like one thing from, only one game, and then whenever they upload something else, I just completely ignore it. It's one of those things where you know, you watch YouTube for what you want to watch it for. And yeah, Spain, just looking at the difference in technology, they don't really have much they can offer me, although maybe I saw something there that I should have traded. I wasn't sure. I kind of went through it pretty fast. So I'm doing pretty decent in terms of tech. You know, I'm not behind, like dreadfully behind like any person. And yeah, looking pretty good. Of course, I changed that so I can grow the city a bit more. It means the aqueduct will take forever to build, but you don't need an aqueduct when the city isn't growing. I'm also just about done building a caravel. I'm not sure you guys caught that in Nicaea. There's a certain way to pronounce it. I've heard the way it's supposed to be pronounced before, actually. Those guys won't give me 2 techs for 1 tech, when very clearly that other tech is worth much more. So I didn't go for it. And yeah, especially because I didn't need those techs anyways. At least not now. And I have a caravel now. Check that out. And this guy can go ahead and discover everything I haven't discovered yet. Find any new factions to trade with. You can sail on like old places that, you know, I can't have sailed on before, so works out pretty well. That looks Romanesque. Those towers. The happiest nations. And the Spanish are apparently the happiest. And whatchamacallit, here I forgot that caravels can't, you know, go end their turn in ocean tiles like they can in Civ 5. I'm always very forgetful of what game I'm playing. And we got some ships sailing in. I think those are, it's hard to tell with the colors, but I thought that was Indian ships going into Korean territory, but I could be wrong. Their purples are pretty similar. It does get a little hard to tell sometimes. And there is the whatchamacallits, which I've already discovered. The people I haven't discovered yet are further west, or actually east. You know, both at west or east. But yeah, there's a big black spot in the map that I haven't really been able to explore yet. And again, exploring all of these peoples so that I can trade with them is pretty important. Got some options here. Cathedral is actually probably not what I would do now, just because yeah, And I should be able to do a bit of hopscotch here, so I don't have to end my caravel in their borders, and end its turn in their borders. Like I sail through it and then make sure it stays outside of it so that they don't ask me to leave and everything. So yeah, should all work out. People are building a mine. And yeah. There's a mountain. And the Sistine Chapel was built there, which means I will have to change production of the Sistine Chapel to something else pretty fast. So I'm checking here, counting the shields, seeing what how many shields there are, seeing if it's worth switching Copernicus's observatory over to the other city. 400 shields versus 600. So I'm thinking, oh, if I do that, I can insta-build Copernicus's observatory, which is pretty good. So I'm thinking of putting that in the courthouse, but that's useless because building a courthouse in your capital doesn't give you any bonus. So I decided to waste all of those shields on something else. I forget what it is. It's a lot of shields to waste, but at the same time, it's better to have Copernicus's observatory right away, insta-build it. Sistine Chapel isn't nearly as important, you know? And yeah. I forget how long this video is. It's probably another 5-ish minutes, I think. And yeah, I'm sailing out a little bit, seeing if I can see any sea tiles. And I did. I was able to go there. And it looks like it's that one faction has kind of like colonized outwards. Insta-build a pikeman, and insta-build Copernicus's observatory. That's what I was originally planning to do with the Sun Tzu place, but unfortunately, they whatchamacallit, beat me to it. Where I build Copernicus's observatory instantly. Copernicus's observatory is pretty important. Maybe there's a better city to build in, I'm not sure. I didn't really get the chance to check. I decided to go to literature here because I'm running out of buildings to build in some of my other cities. And getting libraries up is going to go a long ways. For a while I've sat at making gold. And that was probably not the best move. I probably should have been putting it back into science, honestly. Those guys completed Leonardo's workshop. I really liked that wonder, but it wasn't too important to go for this time around. It does save a lot of money for you, like a lot of money. But yeah, it just wasn't worth going for, really. I'm not really optimized to build a lot of wonders this game. I don't really have like any one city that has a ton of production to be able to do that in. And overall, just building a lot of these smaller buildings is gonna be what keeps me what's the word for it? On par, up to date. It's gonna keep me, yeah, on par with these other AI civs. Not getting wonders. But wonders might come a little more eventually, we'll see. Got our pikemen and our warrior. And our spearmen. A lot of military for a small island. That can't necessarily support it, all of those cities, but it's fine. Can never have too much military. Well, actually you can, but there's something you can do. Get rid of the workers rather than get rid of the military. But yeah, if you noticed, I gotten rid of a lot of the workers by this point. There's not really a lot of more tiles to improve. So, getting those workers back eventually might be something worth doing because of railroads and stuff like that. But right now, it isn't important to have so many workers. And the short term benefit of being able to have a bit more gold coming in that I can invest into science later and all of that, that's going to be pretty important. So it is going to be a hit when I have to rebuild those workers and then I have to lose population to rebuild those workers. But it's worth it, I would say. Maybe not. Maybe some of you guys would just leave them fortified in the cities, and I completely understand doing that too. The biggest thing is that it costs you population to build workers. That's the most annoying thing about deleting your workers, having to rebuild it and then lose the pop. I do think when it comes to settlers, like, you can regain the pop, like, by putting them in the city. But you can't really do that for workers, so it's a strange mechanic that, like, you can't do it for both. I did leave the caravel out in open waters this turn, which is a bit of a risky move. I think someone said in the comments that it's usually, whatchamacallit, not worth losing ships like that. Please understand that any advice that you give me in this playthrough is not going to be implemented till next playthrough, because I played this whole thing in like the course of like 24 hours. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Ain't too much left of this. I think this is going to be the last turn of this video. But we're going to be able to build a palace before we go. And it looks like I go for trees. That's important. Well, yeah. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. And it looks like I included a little bit more. I thought that was going to be the last turn. This is the last turn. This coming turn. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, favorite, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.
Like, favorite, and subscribe if you guys want to see more. Always interested in your feedback down in the comment section. You guys have a good one. God bless.